their thing so we can see all the skills they bring. You see the highlights on the TV screen, but there's a lot more happening behind the scenes. A biography of your favorite stars, and not just about their favorite cars. And every episode is one things to find out. I'm gonna tell you more, but the ref's calling timeout. It's a Sports Illustrated for Kids show. Our Jackie Robinson show celebrates taking chances and overcoming difficult circumstances. The first black man in the big league game, honored with an exhibit in the Hall of Fame. He played for the Monarchs Negro League team, and some kids play today to fulfill his dream. We'll meet Dwight Collins, a young man who's deaf, but he's a big-time running back at UCF. Guest host Jackie Joyner, Kersee loves to compete, a two-time gold medal heptathlete. USA Hockey has women who will play in Japan, so let's go to the show, cause that's the plan.
I'm here in East St. Louis, Illinois, with special guest host Jackie Joyner Kersee. You know, many people say that you are the greatest female athlete ever. Now, Jackie has won 3 Olympic gold medals and 4 world championships in track and field, and she was a professional basketball player in the American Basketball League. But the track wasn't always clear for Jackie. There were hurdles she had to leap: poverty, illness. She wasn't even the best runner on her high school track team.
Dealing with the challenges, I took them head on, you know, because I wanted to be successful and I knew I had to work hard, and I didn't allow those challenges to stop me or the obstacles to get in my way of achieving my dreams and my goals.
So it all started here in this neighborhood.
Right here.
Everything.
Everything. This
is Jackie, but before we find out all about Jackie, let's find out about another role model who had to overcome some really big obstacles, Jackie Robinson.
Hi, I'm at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, where the greatest players in history are honored. But even among all these greats, there's a man who stands alone in his accomplishments. His name is Jackie Robinson. And he began his baseball career during a period in history when African Americans were not allowed to play in the major leagues. But all that changed in 1947, when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers and became the first black man since 1884 to play in the major leagues. We'll be back to tell you Jackie Robinson's courageous story, but first, let's catch up with University of Central Florida's Dwight Collins, a running back who won't let anything get in his way. These are the sounds of Dwight Collins, 1996 Louisiana All-State High School running back playing football. This is the sound of Dwight Collins' football world. Football star Dwight Collins is deaf.
Deafness is hard sometimes, especially being in the hearing world, but I feel like I'm on an equal level. Although I am deaf, I function just as a hearing person. I function just the same. That's my feeling, and I believe in myself.
There are many different obstacles that we face in life: poverty, discrimination, and sometimes physical disabilities. But Dwight Collins has not allowed his world of silence to keep him from anything. His life is about goals, not obstacles.
I was born a normal hearing child, and then at 11 months, I was afflicted with meningitis. From that, I lost my hearing and became deaf.
For Dwight, both education and sports have been a priority in his life. In the classroom, he has a special person to sign for him.
Most of the times in the classroom settings, I'll sit down and watch the interpreter as the teacher lectures.
So how many bars are we going to have?
There's got to be a balance. The philosophy is the same. Education's my #1 goal, and it's worth it for me to be on top, and then I'll be allowed to play.
Now, as a freshman on a football scholarship at the University of Central Florida, Dwight is the only hearing-impaired player on the team.
I felt like I had the handicap and took an American Sign Language class this summer and spent the summer studying his language. Typically, I'm on the sideline and I'm going to be signing in the play. When Dwight's in the game, he will stand right next to the quarterback and get the signal the same time that the quarterback gets it.
From Barbie High School's all-time leading rusher to college student athlete, Dwight Collins is proving if you really want something and you're willing to work hard, nothing can hold you back.
I call myself a deaf football player because I'm proud of myself. I want to be judged on what I do, so they'll look at me and say, wow. And I want deaf people to look at me and see me for what I am.
I'm back here in East St. Louis, Illinois, on the corner of 15th and Piggott, standing on the lot where Jackie Joyner Kersee's house used to be. In this poor neighborhood, Jackie learned some valuable lessons from her parents that helped her make a better life for herself.
The most important thing to them was that they raised great kids, and we be respectful, and we understand what we wanted out of life. I had to get an education. I had to know what else I wanted to do with my life. And having that type of background, I think, has allowed me to go into the person that I am today. And my mother used to get me because she knew I would do my studies quickly, but it was that if I didn't do the housework, then I couldn't go to track practice. And that's how she would get me to, do other things around the house.
Jackie often returns to East St. Louis because she wants to be a role model to the kids growing up there today.
I can always come back to my community and to know that I made a difference in some of their lives, and to me, that's very touching because that's not something that happens all the time. And whenever I could come back into the community and, see the kids smiling and just want to shake my hand and want an autograph, it means a lot.
Wow, you really do get a lot of support from this community, but what I'm going to need from you is a lot of support when we get to the track.
This week's mystery athlete was born to run, even though when she was a kid, she could barely walk. She overcame polio, a virus that weakens the muscles, to become an Olympic gold medalist. Stay tuned to find out who she is.
Coming up, a look back at the men who blazed a trail for today's superstars and the first ever U.S. women's Olympic hockey team.
We'll be right back with more of the Sports Illustrated for Kids show.
We're back with more of the Sports Illustrated for Kids show.
This week's mystery athlete is sprinter Wilma Rudolph. She overcame polio, a disease that hardly anyone gets today because of a vaccine. At the 1960 Rome Olympics, Wilma Rudolph was the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in track. Hank Aaron was the greatest home run hitter of all time. He had 755 home runs in the major leagues. But there was a time when many Americans believed that people of different races shouldn't mix. There were separate schools and restaurants for blacks and whites. There were separate water fountains, and there were even separate leagues in baseball. If it wasn't for the struggles of Jackie Robinson and the men who came before him, Hank Aaron and Willie Mays, and even today's major stars like Ken Griffey Jr. might have never played in the major leagues. In baseball's early days, African-American players were not allowed to play professionally with white players. Black players who knew they were talented created the Negro Leagues in 1920. They played in major cities in front of crowds of black and white fans. There were great stars, including pitcher Satchel Paige and slugging catcher Josh Gibson, both among the best players in all of baseball. Sometimes black all-star teams would play white Major League all-star teams, and most of the time, the black teams won. Sadly, most of the great players of the Negro Leagues never got a chance to play Major League Baseball. Jackie Robinson was a talented player, but he wasn't the best player in the Negro Leagues. The Brooklyn Dodgers chose him to break the color barrier because he was mentally tough. He understood how important facing this challenge was going to be. He was opening the door for others to follow. We'll be back with more on Jackie Robinson, but first, let's take a look at some players that are still breaking barriers. The U.S. women's hockey team.
The biggest thing is don't let anybody hold you back. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do anything. If you're out there and you want to play hockey, go for it. There's a place for you on the ice now.
These are the faces of the U.S. women's hockey team who will compete in the 1998 Olympics, where women's hockey will be a first-time event. There are no superstars in this group, no high-priced contracts or clothing deals. The reason these women play hockey is simple. They love it.
The entire team that is here play because we love hockey, and I think that brings back the old-fashioned Olympic dream. If you think about it, none of us even knew that it was going to be in the Olympics.
I've played hockey for the last 21 years and played with boys and, went through the struggles that way just because I loved it. I just feel really, really fortunate that I've gotten a chance to pursue hockey in the Olympics, so it's a dream come true.
But the dream is only realized because of the girls who never gave up struggling to compete in a boys' game.
My biggest problems was parents, other teams' parents, a lot of people whispering and pointing at me. I remember one game in particular, this father was mad that I was playing on the team with his son, and in that game, I got 3 assists, and all 3 assists were on all 3 of his goals. And after the game, the dad came up to me and he said, I'm really sorry. You belong on this team. I'm proud to have you on this team.
Pass it hard. Pride is one thing that makes these women so strong. Along with their passion, and there's more.
Always have fun. If I didn't have fun, I wouldn't do it. I would find another passion. And I think that that is the key to my drive.
All the players here are here for the same reason that I'm here. They really love the game. They've had plenty of chances to walk away from it when people have said, hey, kid, get out of here, the boys are coming on. And most of them, when they started the game, there was no Olympic dream. Their dream was just to play hockey, and their joy was the game itself.
And when you do think about it, we are paving the way for women's hockey. We're setting some trends, and we're setting the framework for the future. So it'll be a lot easier for the girls down the road. I would not trade this for the world.
So I'm here with Jackie Joyner Kersee around the track, and she trains as hard today as she did in junior high school. But when she was in junior high school, she and her teammates, they didn't have a track to run on. They had to run through the woods of Illinois. So did you have any other obstacles?
An obstacle as far as my family was concerned was money. Money was always an issue. More importantly, my attitude was always to be positive and to let things I had no control over stop me from achieving something that I enjoy doing.
You do have asthma, right?
Right.
So what is asthma exactly?
Asthma is a breathing disorder where your lungs are restricted. I didn't develop it until I was 19. And when I'm running, there's times when my breathing is restricted and I can't run as fast as I would like. And never again did I think about giving up. I always felt that if I listened to what my doctor was saying and take my medicine like I should, then hopefully I can keep the disease under control.
You've had courage to move on even after you've had asthma.
I have never allowed asthma to control me or stop me from doing the things that I want to do when it came to athletics.
How did you get into track and field?
I was a cheerleader first, dancer. I tried it all, and what I really liked about track and field was that I wasn't one of the best girls out there, and I challenged myself each time out to run a little faster, and each time I would go out, I could tell that I was getting better, and that made me feel good.
So what was your attitude towards education?
To be a great student, I knew I had to be able to read and write and comprehend what I was reading and writing because I didn't think I was going to get a scholarship athletically. And you can be a competitor on the athletic field, but you can be a competitor in the classroom. And it's just how you turn that energy into the things that you want to do. And if you believe you can do it, you will do it.
Well, it's time to throw to commercial. Jackie?
We'll be back with more with Sports Illustrated from Kids Show.
In 1936, the Olympics were held in Berlin, Germany. Germany's leader, Adolf Hitler, wanted to use the games to prove that German Aryans were better than any other people in the world. But Hitler's plans were foiled by a black American track star. Who is he? Stay tuned.
We'll be right back with more of the Sports Illustrated for Kids show. We're back with more of the Sports Illustrated for Kids show.
At the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin, Germany, Jesse Owens of the United States won 4 gold medals in track and field. He became a hero in the United States and to all races around the world.
3, 2, 1.
So now I'm here on the field, and this is where Jackie trains for the heptathlon, and I'm holding, what am I holding?
This is the javelin, one of the 7 events in the heptathlon.
So what are the other events?
The 100-meter hurdles, the shot put, the 200 meters, the 800 meters, the long jump, and the high jump.
Now I'm going to ask you 7 questions. We'll call it the heptathlon of the shot clocks. Are you ready? Who was your role model growing up?
Babe Zaharis and Wilma Rudolph.
What's the best advice you ever received?
Take advantage of every opportunity that's presented to me.
If you weren't an athlete, who would you want to be?
I would be a physical therapist.
Favorite dessert?
Not a dessert person.
Okay, favorite superhero?
Wonder Woman.
Okay, so what's your favorite color?
Red.
If you could visit any place in the world, where would you go?
Oh, that dream came true. It was Athens, Greece.
Why Athens?
Why Athens? Because it was the birthplace of the Olympic Games, and 1996 was the celebration of 100 years of the Olympic Games. And at that time, in 1896, women weren't competing, and to be able to have all these women doing great things, and to just be able to visit that, that city and that country, it was a dream come true for me.
We asked athletes, what did Jackie Robinson mean to you?
Well, he was the first. He set the standard.
What does he mean to me? He means strength.
When I think of Jackie, I think of discipline.
With all the hecklers and the people and the fans and the players and people throwing at him, it took a lot of courage to have him come out and, transform this game into a better game.
As he did well, so would equality come about.
Things and that he accomplished and the things that he did, and I don't know if I would even attempt to do those things.
Jackie failed at that particular time with all the racism and bigotry that he had to face, then it would have been another hurdle, another obstacle for the minority race to overcome.
He made it possible for all colors, race, creed, whatever, to play this game together and to make this sport what it is today.
He let me believe and other people believe that they can be anything that they want to be, that you can attain your goals.
All the guys of the minorities and all the black people that are playing Major League Baseball, all we can say is thank you very much.
In 1947, Jackie Robinson became the first man to make the transition from the Negro Leagues to Major League Baseball. He helped take the Dodgers to the World Series in his very first season, was named League MVP in 1949, and led the Dodgers to their first World Championship in 1955. But to accomplish that, he had to suffer through some unbelievable abuse. Pitchers threw at him, runners tried to spike him on the base paths. He couldn't stay at the same hotels as his white teammates or eat in the same restaurants. And always, he had to endure the hateful insults of the crowd. But Jackie Robinson carried himself with dignity and let his play on the field answer the insults. Soon, his teammates, opposing players, and the fans came to appreciate not just his talent, but his courage. This exhibit commemorates the struggles of all African-American players. And recently, a very special team of kids came all the way to Cooperstown to honor Jackie and to remember the Negro Leagues. The Anderson Monarchs, an intramural baseball team from South Philadelphia, know all about the Negro League experience.
They couldn't sleep in the same hotels. They had to drink from separate water fountains, and they couldn't eat in the restaurants.
Everywhere you go, there was signs saying color entrance, white entrance.
The Monarchs took their name from the Kansas City Monarchs, Jackie Robinson's Negro League team, and set out to recreate the Negro League experience. For Coach Steve Bandura, it was a chance not to just honor Jackie, but to expand the horizons of his team of inner-city kids.
I wanted to teach him about the Negro Leagues, Jackie Robinson, and so I figured, let's do it the way they used to do it back then in Barnstorm, which is get on a bus, travel from town to town, playing games, and they would have a much better appreciation of what it was like to be a Negro League player.
We did this because to see how it felt back in the days, how the black people had to sleep in the hot buses. It felt very much like what they did, but we had fun.
I learned that it was hard back then for the black players. I learned that the kids from the other cities, they were just like us.
The Monarchs even found an old bus from 1947, the year Jackie integrated baseball.
They said it was a custom bus, but it didn't look like a custom bus. It didn't feel like a custom bus either. It was fun, but it was bumpy when you sleep.
The team traveled from Jackie Robinson's gravesite in Brooklyn as far as Iowa's Field of Dreams, finally ending their journey back in time with a game at historic Doubleday Field in Cooperstown, where baseball was born. But the Monarchs' adventure was as much about today as it was about history.
In order to understand today, you have to know what happened yesterday. Before they ever played a game, they had to do a book report on Jackie Robinson, and we would discuss it and how they are a continuation of the whole process.
It wasn't like you were reading the book, or it was on a movie or anything like that, just you were right there. Words can't express what it meant.
By the time they said goodbye to the Cooperstown All-Stars, the Monarchs had words of gratitude for an American hero.
I would say thank you for doing what you did, and if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be here. I would say, how did you have the heart to do what you did? I think he did something for all of America by being the person he was.
Coming up, Kids Sound Off. Do women really get a fair chance to play? And a final word on Jackie Robinson.
We'll be right back with more of the Sports Illustrated for Kids show. Hey, we're back with more of the Sports Illustrated for Kids show.
Title IX, a law that requires schools to spend the same amount of money on girls' sports programs as boys, helped pave the way for female athletes like Jackie Joyner Kersee. But is there really equality for girls and women in sports? We asked students at Cherry Hill School in River Edge, New Jersey to sound off.
I think they don't get a fair chance because whenever I look at games, I don't see many many women playing.
The boys and girls should have a team all together, and because boys aren't better than girls and girls aren't better than boys.
It has improved, but they still haven't improved it all that much. Like, they only just got the women's basketball league.
They don't write as many articles about, let's say, softball as they do about baseball.
A lot of girls say that it's unfair, sports is unfair, that like some teams don't allow girls on it. But if they think it's so unfair, why don't they just do something about it?
We're kind of taught that sports are for boys and like Barbie dolls are for girls.
They should just be able to play a sport without being judged. If they're willing to go through the tryouts and going through all the work of getting into it, I think they should play.
You shouldn't like feel intimidated just because you're a girl. If you have an ability to play sports, you should show it.
Do you want to sound off, ask a question, or share your ideas? Write to the SI for Kids show or click onto our website at www.sikids-tv.com.
I think you're an inspiration. You know, you overcame a lot. You overcame poverty and a slow start in sports and illness, your asthma, and you became a world champion. And when you could have quit, you kept on going. And I think everyone can learn a lot from that.
You know, I hope so. When you're encouraging young people, they can do anything if they put their minds to it. And we're not just talking about athletics, we're also saying having a strong background educationally. And I think that's the key. And as long as they understand the discipline, the desire, and the dedication that it takes to be a great athlete, that's the same attributes they need to be a great person as well as a great student.
You're a role model for everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Jackie Robinson didn't just change baseball. He changed the way the whole country looked at race relations. Even after he retired, he kept on speaking out against racial injustice. Jackie Robinson had the courage, the determination, and the heart to fight for what he believed in. And because of him, my life is better. And he has made the world a better place for everybody. Thank you, Jackie.